Hi guys. I don't like that. I'm back with another. I feel like redoing it, so that's what I'm gonna do. I kissed the girl and I liked it.
I'm gonna test this out. Keep in mind that I'm an artist. I'm sensitive about my shit.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. It is Charitisinae and I am back with another video, and today is another story time as promised. Okay, in my last video and my last few videos I've alluded to this story time, and so in today's video I will be telling you the story of the first time I got caught kissing a girl. Okay, y'all, the drama of it all, and I just hope I could fully capture all of those moments into my memories. Like, that's the thing, because it was such a dramatic moment, a dramatic time in my life when this all took place, that I hope I could relay it here in this story on camera. There were a lot of adults who were watching me at the time and who were snitching on me to my parents at the time. You know, me as a grown woman, me as the grown charity that I am, oh, I don't care. And so if you are interested in today's video, let's just keep on watching and let's get right on into it. I did a little eye look off camera. It's not even, are we focused? Let's not start. I just did a little eye look off of camera because it's literally bronzer and some eyeliner. But then I was thinking, I was like, dang, y'all haven't seen me do my eyeliner in a minute and I killed it. Okay, I got it working. So let's just, I don't know what happened in the process of my move. Like, my lids to certain products seem to just not be working. I don't know, like, what happened. I definitely fell off with my skincare routine for like a few months, and it dried my skin out, like out. And now I'm just being consistent. I was like, girl, get to it. I think I was suffering with a little bit of seasonal depression. Was not there. Like, I've been so inconsistent these past few months, but I feel great. Like, I'm finally feeling like myself again, feeling very creative, very in the mood to do my makeup. So this story is very interesting because for me, it just, like I mentioned in my last video, it just felt like I had to come out all over again. Okay, that part was the most like annoying part of it, just feeling like I thought we discovered this already. Like, as my parents, you know, if you know that, you know, like with my parents, it just felt like, okay, y'all know, I told y'all that I like girls. You know, I've already admitted to that, okay, earlier than expected, earlier than I wanted to. So, but you know, that's the point, you know. And so you hear that I was kissing one, what do you expect? It was just so traumatizing all over again when they found that out. So in my last video, I mentioned that I got caught kissing a girl in 10th grade. Not true. I also mentioned how my math was not mathing that entire video. So yeah, like, I definitely got caught kissing a girl my freshman year in high school. I was in 9th grade, and child, the drama, it's just the drama of it all. So I decided to stay after school because I wanted to attend the basketball game. I wanted to be there for JV and varsity. So, you know, in most schools, JV usually starts like well, not right after school, but a few minutes. So if you are already like there, like as a student, it just didn't make sense to go home and come back. Like, so me and the people that I called my friends at the time, we decided to just stay after school and watch JV and varsity. The JV and varsity girls, well, the JV girls, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, I also think there was a pep rally that day. Wow, this is sending me back, honey. Like, pep rallies and stuff. Wow. And so I just decided to stay, and then it wasn't really like a popular game going on. And so that entire night, like, really nobody was there. Like, the gym, it wasn't empty, but it definitely didn't bring out a crowd. Okay, so it was just easy to be spotted that day. Like I mentioned in my last video, like, I was kind of always rebellious. And I mentioned this in my coming out story, not my last video, sorry. But I've always been rebellious. I've always been like free-spirited, and I've always just wanted to feel comfortable being myself and being exactly who I am, you know, no matter what. And so at this time, like, I was with my girlfriend at the time. Like, we both decided to stay after school. One, because that was one of the few ways we could hang out without, like, there being a problem. So I didn't have to explain to my parents, like, oh, I just, you know, want to go out with some friends and nothing like that. It was, oh, I want to stay after school because I want to attend the basketball game. It was just a convenient way, an easy way, and a way to avoid the least amount of questions. You want to stay after school? Great. Cool. You know? And so my dad had already agreed to come and pick me up after the game. And so I'm there, and my girlfriend at the time, you know, the basketball game was going on. And I think it was like, it was the last game, because they had multiple games that day. You know, I forgot exactly what was going on, but they had multiple games that day. And, you know, I think they were just coming up on their last one. So all of my friends at that time were leaving, and eventually it was just me, my girlfriend at the time, and that was it. It was just us, nobody else, when it came to that friend group. We were just in the gym, and we literally, we kept pecking each other. Like, we kept kissing. It was just like a non-stop pecks. Like, don't be out of focus. Okay, no. So just non-stop pecks, and that was just it. Mind you, we were on the home side, and so directly across from us, of course, it's the away side. But like I said, wasn't a busy game. It didn't draw the crowd. And so I could see all of my cousins, like, across from me. And when I say cousins, like, I'm talking about, like, my dad's cousins, like his side of the family, who are all his age. They're all his first cousins, okay? So I see them across the gym, but I'm not thinking they're paying attention to me. Like, that's the thing. Like, I wasn't really thinking like, oh, they're tuned in to what I'm doing. For one, I didn't really know that they noticed me while I'm just kissing my girlfriend at the time. Like, I'm not thinking they're really paying attention, but at the same time, I don't care. Like, I that's just what it was. Like, I literally didn't care to even be paranoid. Like, when I was on the low and I hadn't came out yet, I really wasn't trying not to be seen. Like, I've never been paranoid, but it always, like, things always hit me when it's like going on, like in that heat of the moment. Like when my parents found out, that's when it all hit me, like, oh damn, like this is all for real. Like that's what I mean, if you get it. So at that time, I'm just like, to hell with it. Like, I'm doing me. Like, I want to kiss my girlfriend, so I'm gonna kiss my girlfriend. And so we're sitting there kissing, and then, you know, my dad tells me that, you know, he's outside. So I'm like rushing down the steps, and then I realize, here's the funny part. My girlfriend at that time bought me a necklace. Excuse me. She bought me a necklace, and it was her last name. Not her, yeah, was it? I don't know. It was, or was it my name? No, I think it was her last name. I'm walking down the steps, you know, to go out, meet my daddy in the little lobby, whatever you would call that area where the concession stand is. And so I realized I got the necklace on, and I will always put it on like once they dropped me off at school, and I would take it off when school was over, before, you know, I got in the car when they picked me up. But I completely forgot. So I'm like, oh my gosh, like I was panicking. I had that necklace on and I wanted to tug it on it. Like that was the first sense of panic. Like I remember I had the necklace on. I'm like, what the heck, I have to take this necklace off before I get questioned. And then I tugged on it like a good 3 times, like hard. The necklace would not come off, y'all. Like the necklace did not pop. Like I'm like, because at this time it was worth popping. Like I didn't care. That was the intention, was to pop it. I got to get this off my neck because my dad cannot see that I have this necklace on, because then that he's gonna be like, whose name is that? And then I'm not good with thinking on the spot, which is how I always got caught lying. Like I am not a good liar because I like to live out loud. So when it's time to explain myself, it's never gonna be believable, because what you see is what you get from me, and that's just it. The necklace wouldn't come off, and so I'm just like, you know, whatever. Like hopefully he just don't even pay attention, because my dad was like that. He didn't really pay attention to the smaller things. It always had to be directly in his face for him to get it. And so I get out there in the lobby, you know. It's definitely not called the lobby, but just go with me. Like I said, wherever the concession stand is, it's probably a lobby. But anyway. And so I see him with 2 men who are my older cousins, his first cousins. And to me, it just looked like, you know, they were just casually talking because, you know, they were all close. We all went to the same church as well. So I'm just thinking, you know, they just catching up while he waiting on me. Whole time they're snitching on me whole time. And my thing is, they had the nerve to speak to me when I got out there. Like when you snitching on somebody, like you don't speak. Like that's common courtesy. Common courtesy is not speaking, even though you're blowing my life up. Common courtesy is just blow my life up and don't even talk to me. Don't do that. It's very fake. Like, and that's what felt like the ultimate betrayal to me, because I'm like, wow. So I get out there and whole time y'all snitching on me? Like, I just didn't expect that, because I even think they gave me a hug. Like, I'm like, what? Okay, so we get in the car. And my dad, I don't even remember how the conversation was, like how he even started it. This is the part I don't remember, and I'm so sorry. I do not. I forgot my powder brush. Hold on. The only significant part that I remember is him asking me what I was doing in the gym kissing a girl. And I was like, I wasn't. It was very much like my coming out story, deny, deny, deny. Like, I was not about to sit there and admit that. And so he was like, well, let's just go back and ask so and so and so and so and see what they say, because what you telling me is that they were lying to me. I'm not gonna mention my cousin's name on camera. Like, I'm not gonna, it was, like I said, 2 of them, and they had really snitched on me. I couldn't believe that. I just felt so hurt and betrayed. Like, and for one, mind your business. Like, that was my whole thing. Like, I remember after that just feeling like I can't do anything. Like, my life is not my own. But he said, he was like, well, let's just go back and ask them then. And ask that we gonna ask them together. And that's what he said. He was like, we're gonna ask them together, because what you're telling me is they were lying to me. I was like, okay. Like, I was going with it. So he turned the car around for us to go back up to the school so we could ask them. Child, we pull up, and he said, if I get out this car, he said, I'm gonna ask you one more time. If you tell me no, we gonna get out this car and we're gonna go and confront them together. And I was just in there bawling my eyes out. Like, I was just in there crying, because I'm like, man, what the heck? Like, it was so traumatizing just all over again. Because I'm like, dude, like, why am I going through this again? Like, and then they literally blew my life up. I just wanted to have my girlfriend in peace. Like, I honestly, for a moment, I felt like a breath of fresh air after I had came out, or after I was forced to come out, because my girlfriend at the time snitched on me. Definitely in that moment, everything was just hitting me all over again. It felt like I was back at square one, because I'm like, if they know I like girls, who they expect me to be kissing? Like what? I felt like it really would have been different if I liked boys, being that I was in high school already. Like, at some point, I felt like we need to normalize the fact that, yeah, I'm gonna kiss. Like, it was a kiss, and I just felt like, maybe, well, I know for a fact, if it was a boy, my mom would have handled it differently, because my mom is honestly more realistic than my dad, than he was at the time. You know, dads and their daughters, that is a relationship that is something completely different. It's like having your own bodyguard. Like, no, you can't touch her. It's like, so, in me being a grown woman, I know that now. Like, dads do not play about their daughters, period. So, like, they don't want to hear at no age that you're getting physical with anybody. They don't want to do that. And I mean, now that I'm a grown woman and my dad knows that, it's just inevitable. Obviously, he's more realistic, but at that time, absolutely not. And so me and my dad are on the way home, and I was just in there in the car crying. I can't even tell y'all what my daddy said, because I don't remember, but like, I hated that night, because it just went from me feeling so good to like remembering that, oh, yet again, my sexuality isn't accepted. And that was then. You know, it's not the same now, of course. My parents fully accept me, which is an amazing thing. And I fully, you know, have the love and support of my parents. I've always had the love. I was like, oh my gosh, here we go again. Like, I'm like, I can't believe I'm going through this all over again. Because in my head, it was just like, what do you expect? Like, so yeah, we get home, and my dad and my mom, you know, they've always been amazing, like, co-parents when it came to me and my sister, because they were divorced at the time. They've been divorced for like years and years, but they've always been amazing at communicating when it came to, you know, me and my sister. And so we got there, and him and my mom go and have a conversation, and then they call me in the room yet again. And you know, I think it was just the same thing all over again. How they don't support the lifestyle. But then like everything got worse after that. Like I couldn't do anything. Like when I tell you anything, I couldn't do anything. Like my life was on lockdown, like complete lockdown. What do you expect? If I like girls, at some point, yeah, I am going to be kissing one. Now, do you know, here's where it gets funny. So that Sunday, because I think this happened, it either happened on a Thursday or a Friday, because that's when a lot of basketball games were. I think, I don't know, either way, that very next Sunday I get to church and I see my cousins. I see my cousins and they see me. So both approached me at 2 separate times, mind you. Do you know that both of them asked me if I was okay? Both of them asked me if I was okay. How you doing? You okay? You good? Knowing that they just set my life up in flames. And I don't know, to this day, I don't know if they were asking me if I was okay. Because it's like, you know, you were kissing a girl. Are you okay? Or if they were asking, you know I told your daddy and he probably done you in. Are you okay? Like, I don't know which one it was. However, I think it was a little bit of both. However, you know I'm not okay, which is why you're asking. Like, you know you just ruined my life. Like, you know I'm not okay. And then both of them hugged me. And like I said, this happened at 2 separate times. I'm like, do not hug me. You are not here for me, sir. You snitched on me. You snitched on me. Like, I was so pissed off. I was so pissed. Because it's just like, why couldn't you just mind your business? And it's something that I honestly, like, I look back on a lot. Because as a grown adult, and as a grown adult who wants kids, I do think about stuff like that. Because I'm like, you know, if these are my cousins who are my age, and on top of that, we're all best friends, you know, am I going to want them to fill me in on things that they see when it comes to my child? Like, if they see my child doing something that they know I wouldn't approve of, or, you know, they don't got no business doing, then would I want them to tell me? And the answer is yes. However, obviously, when it comes to my future kids, like, if they come to me and tell me that they're attracted to the same sex, girl, boy, do you. Or even if they decide to come and tell me, hey, I'm non-binary. Okay, them, they, do you, okay? Like, it's just, it is what it is. Obviously, that would be very hypocritical and contradicting of me to have this lifestyle. And like, I mean, obviously, that should be self-explanatory. So we don't even have to take a deep dive into that. But yeah, so I do think about it that way. Like, when it comes to things that I try and put it into a grown adult perspective, basically. I just remember that at that time, it all kind of sunk in for me when it came to feeling like I really couldn't do anything. Like, I could not be myself, really. I wasn't even happy because there were always people watching me. Like, there were people who knew me that I didn't even know, who would go back and tell my parents things that they saw me doing, because I would go to the movies a lot. And then where I'm from is such a small town where honestly it was so easy to bump into anybody, to run into anybody, and we kind of all knew each other at that. So it was so easy for people to really just see me out in public and just tell my parents that they saw me, and then give them the full-blown breakdown of what they saw me doing. Like, hell, even when I dropped that video, my dad called me, I saw your coming up story, and they were both so supportive, by the way. I love my parents and I love the relationship we have now because they were both very supportive of me sharing my story and sharing my experience. That, you know, they don't care. They just want me to do me now, and I love that for me and them, you know. So my life is my own, and he's aware of the things that I do in my life because I have no problem sharing my stories and my experiences, and I have no problem being exactly who I am around those two people. It's literally nothing. However, back then it just felt like my life wasn't my own and no one cared about my happiness. Like, I felt like that's the misstep, I don't know, when it comes to being a parent. And it's something, like I said, it's something I think about because I want to be a parent one day. And I think that parents kind of can get caught up into the life that they want you to have, that they thought you would have, to where it kind of can lead to the disappointment of the one you want for yourself. And they get so caught up into forcing you into this lifestyle that makes them happy that they forget that you have happiness as well. And sometimes your happiness is not determined by theirs. It's sometimes what makes you happy is not gonna look like what makes them happy. It's not gonna add up. Like, and that's what my parents did to me back then, you know. They didn't want me to be attracted to the same sex, so they did really everything they could to like stop it. You know, the vision I had for myself, it just didn't match the vision they had for me. And so I wasn't happy for a very long time because I couldn't be myself. And even when I came out and I thought, you know, okay, the hardest part was over, no, I still had to deal with all the feelings that came with that. Christians don't believe in liking the same sex. Christians think that it's an abomination. A lot of Christians think that you're going to hell because of it. It would always be like a reminder somewhere letting me know that who I am is not good enough. And so I just, growing up, I had so much work to do to be able to like and accept myself and to love myself for exactly who I am, even if someone else didn't. Like, it took a lot of work, but I did it, honey. I did it, and guess what? We're here and we're good. We're good, okay? Don't play with her. Stay with her, okay? I think for me, the good part about it was I've never been the type to want to do things that made other people happy. Still don't. I still don't care. I think I have never had a problem living out loud, and you could tell. I think that's the only reason, you know, why it was still so much for me, because it was still shitty, but it was just like I was fighting for myself without even knowing it, because it was like, even though I didn't like the feeling of it all, like I didn't like the feeling of like liking the same sex, because I was taught that it was wrong, but I also didn't like people making me feel bad for it. And I also knew how good it felt whenever I did have a girlfriend and I was with her, and it just felt so normal and so natural to me, to where it wasn't something that I was willing to give up on. So it was a constant like battle, you know, but also it was just the fact that I never gave up on myself, really. I felt like I had this fight in me that I didn't even know I had at the time. And I was willing to just be consistent in my lifestyle because it is who I am. And so I'm happy that, and I'm grateful that, you know, it happened the way it did, honestly, because without being forced, really, without being told on, I don't know when I would have came out. I honestly don't. I really don't know. With all that being said, I really do not know. Let's finish up this makeup. The face is looking airbrushed, so please stop playing with me. You know, if anything, I just really love how secure and comfortable I am, you know, with my individuality. Like back then I had to fake it to make it for sure. But, because you're not going to tell me that I just can't be myself, that something is wrong with that. And like that's not what you're going to tell me. However, I really love my journey with all of this, because even with all of the judgment, all of the backlash, like, it's like now, like, what can you really tell me? You can't tell me a damn thing. Honestly, like, I'm gonna be who I want to be. Like, this is who I am, and if anything, it's just built this wall of strength. Like, I don't even know how to even put that into words right now. Like, I'm just good. Like, I've come a long way with not being understood and not being accepted, to where I know the feeling now, that feeling of rejection and that fear, because of all of those things combined. Not being understood, accepted, and being rejected, especially by the people that I loved the most, that I love the most. Like, gaining that experience, but also working through it and still learning how to love and accept myself through it and in it, you know, it's just like, yeah, like, I'm good. Like, there's really, after that experience, it's just like, hey, what else? And then what else? Oh, okay. Like, I'm black and gay. Like, bitch, I know how to be happy, honestly. I know how to go on through this. Like, I'm an expert at not caring what people think. Like, it's not on me, it's in me type thing. Like, it's not on me, it's in me. I got it down to a T. And what else do you have for me? And so, get it together. And so I'm happy that I had these experiences at such an early age. Like, a conversation that me, my sister, and my dad had recently, like when we had went back home. You know, my sister had brought up a great point, and it took her saying it for that to actually sink in. But she did mention how she treats them both the same. Like, finding out at an early age that, you know, you're attracted to the same sex is just like discovering the feeling of being attracted to the opposite sex. Like, we all go through that. Like, we can all remember our first boy crush or girl crush when it comes to the opposite sex, and just how that feeling is natural and is validated, and no one is going to make a big fuss out of it because it's a natural part of life. So is, you know, being attracted to the same sex. And I didn't think about it like that right then, because I think I was just still so used to people making, you know, well, trying to make me feel wrong about it. And this was the first time that me and my sister and my dad, we have actually sat down and had a conversation like this before. And so I was like, wow, I needed this. It was something that I needed to hear my damn self, because I'm like, you know what, that is so true. And then it just added on for me, because I'm like, man, y'all really be making us feel like we too young to know what we like, and we too young to make decisions when it comes to liking the same sex. Like, people were really trying to make you feel like, oh, you can't make that decision at such a young age, because especially with young people who decide that they want to transition, they feel like you're too young to make that decision. But I just feel like, no, those feelings, don't just count those feelings out like that. Like, don't just disregard people's feelings like that, because truthfully, I just feel like when you know, you know. Like, you know what makes you comfortable or uncomfortable, and you know what you're attracted to. Like, let people trust their feelings without making them feel so wrong for doing so, because it's not a feeling that you never had, that you never dealt with. So you can't relate to that feeling, but you can relate to having feelings for somebody, and you had them early on. So just relax. I'm just happy that I went through what I went through at an early age, because now I'm at an age where I could speak to it. I could speak on it more. And I've learned early on what I like, what I prefer, and what makes me comfortable. And I've done the work to just love and accept myself for exactly who I am. And I love me more than ever. Now, my sister has been my best friend through all of this. And my sister is my best friend. Like, I love her to pieces. The only time my sister was like very upset with me was when she found out from someone else that I liked girls. Because she found out like before my parents, but it wasn't too soon before them. But she was so mad because she was just like, well, why wouldn't you tell me? And in that moment, when we had like that big blow up, when she found out and I told her the truth, she was just disappointed. And in that moment, and even now, it was just like, no, yeah, I knew I could have told her, and it wouldn't have been anything. Like, she would have accepted me that entire time. Like, my sister has always been, to me, she's my biggest supporter. Like, I love my sister to pieces. Like, my sister is my absolute best friend. She's my everything. And so that was the only time we really had like a disagreement about it, was when, you know, she just kind of felt a way about me feeling like I couldn't even tell her even. Like, she felt the way about that for sure. But she's always been my biggest advocate, my biggest supporter. And she's always the one in my corner, no matter what, you know. But yeah, that's been the one person who has supported me like from day one, and she gonna be Team Charity all like to the wheels fall off. And I'm Team Raven. I've always have been. I'm the youngest, of course. I am that little sister who will claw your eyes out when it comes to my big sister. Like, are you dumb? I just think that the biggest difference between a bigger sibling, an older sibling, and a younger one, those younger ones are wild. They're like cuckoo, okay? Versus the older ones, they just don't play. They're just more stern, more mature with their delivering, with their way. But that younger one is giving Rugrats. And then one thing you also shouldn't play with is my makeup. Oh, this is a beautiful blush. Oh my god. Oh, that's pretty. What the freak? Come on, Mented. This is Mented. Okay, this is Mented, and this is called Buried Away from Mented Cosmetics. This right here is the blush that you need. And please understand that if you go and get this blush, you definitely should use the code CHARITYXO so you can get you some money off, okay? But look at this. It's so beautiful. Just in case you really want to get in. Look at that color. Buried away. And look at how it's showing up on my skin. Use code CharityXO so you can get you 15% off when you get this blush. Or any product from Mented. Because Mented is definitely that girl when it comes to makeup products. And so when you go on their site and fall in love, like I know you will, just use CharityXO so you can get you some money off. This makeup is fire. Like, the complexion is hitting. Oh, and one last thing. Now, of course, I would encourage anybody out there to just be who they are unapologetically. Just be the version of you that makes you the most happiest. Like, of course, we should all show up as our authentic selves. However, when I was a child, because I was a child, I did have to take into consideration that I was a child and I couldn't make certain decisions on my own. You know, I was living under someone else's roof, not paying any bills, and so therefore at the end of the day I had to do what my parents told me to do, and I had to abide by their rules, which is why I said I snuck around. But however, which is also why I said I'm not encouraging anybody else to do so. I just want to make it plain and clear that I couldn't just be out here being free and loose and while I'm living in someone else's house and I'm not paying no bills, okay? And so I wasn't trying to blatantly disrespect my parents. However, I still just wanted so desperately to just be exactly who I am. And so there were times where I felt like I had to choose when it came to abiding by their rules, but also being myself, because it all collided. Like, it just all crashed and burned together because there were two separate things when it came to abiding by my parents' rules, doing what they wanted me to do versus my own happiness, my own peace and comfort, you know? So yeah, if anybody is out there going through what I'm going through now, have as many conversations as you can with the people involved. That's what I will encourage now. Meditate or pray, write, read, whatever is an outlet for you where you could just really sit with you in your own thoughts and feelings and also release them in the healthiest way ever. Like I said, whether that's meditating, praying, full-blown workout, writing, or reading, or just talking to yourself out loud, or just speaking some daily affirmations throughout the day, so that way, you know, you never forget who you are. Because for me, I knew that my environment didn't agree with my identity. They didn't go hand in hand. But I also knew that I really couldn't do anything about my environment. And so the only thing I wish I could have done was find little healthy ways to keep my peace. And so what I will say is, you know, find those ways to where you can express yourself in healthy ways while still being in an environment that's not really contributing to your happiness or your peace. Child, let me put my lashes on and do my thing so I can end this video because it's late. I don't know why I record late now. Okay, so this is the look. I look damn good. Okay, so we're gonna get into the lips. You know, I'm going to line my lips with MAC Chestnut. I mean, honestly, is there anything better? I'm going to use this lip gloss by Mocha Cosmetics in the shade Classic Nude. I'm going to go right on the outer part of my lips, like on the outer corner, do a little bit in the middle, and keep it there. Sorry. And then to top it all off, I'm going to go in with this Fenty Beauty Heat lip gloss in the shade Lemon Lava, okay? Get into it. Oh my gosh, she looks bronzed, warm, and gorgeous, okay? Yes, ma'am. I just hope you guys enjoyed this video, and thank you all so much for watching yet again. I have on this like yellow halter top with my earrings. I love these earrings, and then these butterfly earrings. Thank you all so much for watching today's video, and I hope you all enjoyed it. Please be sure to comment down below. Let me know some things you'd like to see from me on my channel, and also give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel, and then be sure to turn on your post notifications so you will be notified whenever I do upload. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all in my next one. Bye, guys.